Right, welcome to this video tutorial on QuickBooks Premier. In this tutorial, we want to look at how to extract a report by supplier, where we see the transactions which relate to a particular supplier without seeing all the suppliers. You see, if we were to view our supplier reports by coming to reports, supply and payables, and probably come to supplier balance detail report. You could see by default QuickBooks Premier brings up all the suppliers, but we may not necessarily want to see all the suppliers, because probably the supplier that we want to see is not up here. Probably the supplier we want to see is down here. We may now be forced to scroll down, and if you were to print this report, it will be difficult in terms of printing a particular supplier. We are forced to print the whole report. So this tutorial is meant to show you how to print the supply detail report by supplier, by a particular supplier, so that we just specifically print for that supplier, right? So for us to do that, we have to come to reports. Then we come to supply and payables. Then we come down here, supplier balance detail. This is the report that we want. We will print this report. Initially, when we print it, it will come up in this way. We now have to customize it so that we see a particular supplier that we want to print, right? What are we supposed to do then? We have to come here and click on customize report. When you click on customize report, it will bring up this modify report, that is the supplier balance detail report. We then have to come to filters, right? When you come to filters, we have to search a certain filter, which is name. So we click there on this search filter, then we type name, right? It will bring up these filters. We then have to just to select name, then it will select all names. Now we have to come here and click this arrow pointing down. We just have to click it. Now it will bring up all the names. Of course, there's all names, multiple names. Then there is this all customers / jobs or suppliers or employees and all other names. What we have to do is to have all names selected. Then we have to scroll down now, because what it does here, it brings up all the names, customers, suppliers, and any other name that we fed into the system, starting with customers. But because we want to select a particular supplier, we now have to scroll down. Suppliers, they come after customers. So in this case, of course, we have to scroll down to look for that supplier. So we just basically scroll down. We could just do it quickly until we get to suppliers. Now we are on suppliers. So we have now to select, to scroll down and select a particular supplier. All right. Let's say probably we want to see this this supplier. Probably want to see this supplier, so we could just select that supplier. You'd find this supplier will be up here, and if we are happy, we then click on OK. Right, when you click on OK, you can now see that this report is only showing the figures which relates to this particular supplier, the bills that we entered, if we made any payments, the payments that we made, and the balance sitting on this supplier. Now we can print this either as a hard copy or as an Excel sheet. Okay, maybe before we print, we could select the period we want to cover here, the start period, right, and the end period, right. Then we could click on refresh to refresh the report. In this case, I'm just printing this report to include every transactions which have been done, right. It then refreshed to this, so I have to put because I want to print all the transactions relating to this supplier, right. All right, yes, this is what I want. So here you are putting in the start date and the end date, the period that you want to cover. Now, after this, I can now print this as a hard copy. So I just click on print. I don't have a physical print attached to my computer, so I'm just going to print it to PDF. I could preview this report before printing. If you have to click by clicking on preview, this is how the report is going to come up. Then I could then click on print. Right, and as I said, I could, okay, by clicking on print, because I don't have a physical print attached, it's going to print to PDF. So I could give it a name, probably right, the name of the supply. So right, balance detail report. So you give it the name that you want to the report to have, balance report. Then you just click on save. In this case, this report is saved to my documents folder. If I wanted to print it to Excel, I could just click on Excel. Then I click on create new workbook. Then I'll just give it the system a few seconds to export this report of mine to Excel. All right, it actually gives me this send report to Excel. Then I click on export. Right, then again I have to give it a few seconds while this is processing that command. After this, my report will be exported to Excel. I can now view it in Excel and probably do any adjustments that I want. So I just have to wait a bit. So while it's exporting, now my report is exported to Excel. Right, so this is my Excel report. I could now play around with it whichever way. If I wanted to print a hard copy, I could just print a hard copy. If I wanted to save, I would just come on file, save as, right, this computer, then select the folder which I want to save as, save to. Like in my case, it's just saving to the documents folder. Then I could just give this report a name, offloading balance detail as it. Then I remove this PDF extension. I had already put in this title, so I'm just using it but I'm removing the PDF extension. Then I click on save. It will bring up this macro message. Okay, then in our case we want to continue saving as a macro free workbook. Click yes. It will always bring up this, so you just have to click on yes for you to save the document. So my document is saved to the documents folder. So basically this is how you do it in terms of printing your supplier balance detail report by supplier. Thank you.